Welcome back to the channel everyone, and today I'm going to be going over the storyline of the Cold War Zombies game mode. If you're enjoying Call of Duty content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'm sure to be doing some of these in the future, but today I have moved on to Cold War. I have done Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. Now I'm moving on to Cold War. I've also done Ultimus and Primus. So today is Cold War Zombies. As you can see though, I don't have Cold War Zombies myself, so shout out to MK Ice and Fire. I'm just using your gameplay. I'm crediting you in the description, in the video. I'm not saying that this is my gameplay, this is yours if you are watching this. I am just using it for my timeline video. But let's get into the storyline of the Cold War Zombies. Let's do this. As the war drew to a close, the Nazis were desperate to win the war by any means, with several programs dedicated to ensuring their victory. One such program was the Uranium, the Nazi program dedicated to atomic research and uranium enrichment. During summer 1943, Kurt Diebner, the head of the research project, approved Project N Station, which proposed a massive particle accelerator and collider called Cyclotron, designed by Drs. Ulrich Vogel and Lucas Kurtz, and funded by the former. The site was located in Morasko, a wooded area in a Reach district of Nazi-occupied Poland. On March 7th, 1944 at 10:03 PM, Vogel and Kurtz performed the 12th test of the cyclotron. During the process, the particle accelerator malfunctioned and opened a rift between their world and the dark aether, unknowingly breaching the dimensional membrane between the two realms, once again reconnecting them. Creatures started coming through the gateway, and men close to the collider began to turn into zombies. The small outbreak was contained, but the cyclotron was now operating on its own without an external source of power. Over the course of the next few days, Vogel studied the fallen soldiers to find a way to reverse their condition. The discovery and study of the rift was also seen with great interest by Adolf Hitler and the Great High Command. On March 16th, they were able to isolate an exotic and unknown element they classified as Exo-Element 1, which would later be dubbed Ethereum. Vogel started working on a decontamination chamber designed to reverse the condition of the fallen soldiers and restore their brain activity. He believed that if they could control the process of necrotization, they could weaponize it and create an army of undead soldiers to save the Reach. On April 3rd, the decontamination chamber was complete and was nicknamed Der Wechsler by Kurtz. The chamber was able to remove the Exo-Element 1 from the brains of the undead soldiers, restoring some higher functions and reducing the violent outbursts, but not enough to bring them back to state before the contamination. With the loss of Normandy, Hitler turned his attention once again to N Station, and by August 1944 tasked Vogel to weaponize all their findings. Vogel continued to work on his idea of an army of soldiers who would rise up after being killed. A wonder weapon was also created from an Exo-Element 1 collector, the decompressive isotopic estrangement machine. At some point in late 1944, a new end station facility was established beneath Berlin, including a tunnel made to open and sustain a rift to the dark aether. On November 15th, Kurtz developed Laws and an Exo-Element 1 harvester, which would only collect essence from Tempstus crystalline humanoid capable of teleportation. The next day, Vogel developed a conversion machine using specimens rich in Exo-Element 1, which would allow them to open a portal to the Dark Aether. Having studied the effects of the Dark Aether since the incident at N Station, Vogel proposed a plan to the German High Command that was sending an army into the Dark Aether which they could summon as a last resort to ensure the victory of the Third Reach. On December 14th, 1944, the plan was approved and named Operation Balder after the Norse god who rose after death. After a month of preparation, Task Force Balder under the command of Muller arrived at the Morasko facility. Vogel sent instructions in Berlin on how to open the portal, and on January 27th, he ordered all personnel to evacuate the Morasco facility. He also tasked Kurtz to take care of his young daughter, Angelica, as he stayed behind. Soon after, Task Force Balder crossed the threshold to the Dark Aether. The crossing was too much for the cyclotron, with several seals blowing in the process, contaminating the facility with more Exo-Element 1. Vogel, however, stayed in the facility and continued to monitor the task force for the next 2 days to ensure they were in position, believing he secured the future of the Reach. Unbeknownst to Vogel, Task Force Balder would become corrupted by the Dark Aether and turned into different creatures. On February 3rd, 1945, the 8th Guards Army of the Red Army arrived in Morasco and entered the facility. They recorded on film their progress, the rift created by the cyclotron, and the zombies attack that followed. A week later, a cleaning crew led by NKVD Colonel Pavel Lazarev arrived at the facility. 14 soldiers were killed during the cleaning process. After the zombies were eliminated, Lazarev tasked Sergeant Kazimir Zykov of the 1st Guards Tank Army with shutting down the cyclotron. After being sealed inside the facility, Zykov successfully stopped the particle accelerator, but in the process was stranded in the Dark Aether for years to come. On February 21st, Kurtz and Angelica were captured by the Red Army. Kurtz was interrogated by Lazarev, who accepted to spare Angelica's life if Kurtz gave the names and location of the end station scientists. Kurtz agreed, and both were allowed to live in the Soviet Union under new names. Lucas Kurtz became Ivan Valentin, while Angelica Vogel became Alexandra Valentina. The film reels about Project End Station were sent to the Soviet archives and remained hidden for almost 40 years. And there you go, that is part 1 of the Call of Duty Cold War storyline. If you enjoyed this video today, make sure to like and subscribe. I will be doing more Cold War zombies. There'll be a part 2, maybe a part 3. Once I've explained all of it, that will be the end. If anyone's interested in this storyline series, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye. And also another thanks to MK Ice and Fire. I used your gameplay. Remember, I am not using this and saying that this is mine. I have put credit on the video. So for now, goodbye.